hearing is about reducing the noise in this path. Not as much in this signal generated here and signal received there. But whatever is not the signal, removing that forms a very important and major part of the entire subject, machinery, even learning, everything. So accordingly, for here also, moksha or atmajnana is a very, very simple thing. To state, it's a very simple thing. But learning it or attaining it is where we have to spend a lot of time understanding what not is Atma. So that forms, that's the reason all this Purva Mimamsa is there, and that has been translated as in, that has been retold as Puranas. Smritis have come to explain that, and lot of even Upasana, Karmakanda, etc. all have come up. The goal is ultimately Atmajnana. Of course, at one point in time, at one stage in the history of this Sanatana Dharma, people have lost that understanding, and they were lost in, they were either majorly they were Karmakandis, or some other wrong interpretation of Karmakanda, Veda, etc. was happening. That's when Bhagavad Shankara has taken avatara, and even before that, anticipating that this will happen, Bhagavan Vedavyasa has done Veda Vibhaga and then authored all those Puranas. It is said that Vyasochistam Jagat Sarvam, means the entire Jagat itself is Vyasochistam, touched by Vedavyasa. So everything has been touched by him, and whatever is required for a successful, happy life has been proposed, has been given by Bhagavan Vedavyasa after taking the core subject from Vedas and then doing the Veda Vibhaga, giving the 4 Vedas to his 4 Shishyas, and then authoring the Puranas, etc. Later on, we can talk about such a contribution from none other than Bhagavatpada Shankaracharya. So in fact, we have a shloka, Shankara Sakshat Vyaso Narayano Harihi Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah. Just like Vedavyasa has performed all this work and then given sutras, Bhagavatpada Shankara has come and he has given bhashyams for the sutras so that the people of this later part of Kali Yuga can understand that. And in that process, he has actually corrected, or he has actually reformed the entire Sanatana Dharma system which was prevailing at that time, and established the Advaita Siddhanta, and to propagate it or to ensure that it lasts forever, the 4 Amnaya Pithas have been established. In this path, Bhagavatpada Shankara has traveled all over India, and while going, a lot of people who have understood this principle, who have understood the message of Bhagavatpada, have become his Sishyas. There is one particular Sishya whom Bhagavatpada himself went searching for. So he was Mandana Mishra in his Purvashrama, out and out Karmakandi, Purva Mimamsaka. So we all know that story from Shankara Vijayam most probably. So he has won, he was won over in whatever debate that Ubhay Bharati Devi, who is now presiding over the Sringeri Sharada Pitham as the Shardamba. And so Sureshwaracharya thus happens to be the Sishya whom Bhagavatpada Shankara has approached by himself to make him a Sishya. This is very important to understand because Sureshwaracharya, Jagadguru Sureshwaracharya, is thus an exponent in Karmakanda as well as Jnanakanda. So after becoming Sishya of Shankaracharya, he has done Vartikams on many of the Upanishad Bhashyas, and that is such a scholarly work that, for example, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Bhashya, the Vartikam on that runs into 10,000 shlokas. It is considered to be extreme scholarship by any Advaita scholar if he has just even read one time that Vartikam on Brihadaranyaka Bhashyam. That being such a difficult thing, Vidyaranya Maharshi, Jagadguru Vidyaranya, who happens to be belonging to the same parampara, he has done another commentary work on that, condensation of that Vartikam, which itself runs into 2000 pages or 2000 shlokas, it seems. So such is the scholarship of Sureshwaracharya. All this introduction is actually to take us to one particular very important work by Sureshwaracharya. It is considered to be another masterpiece on Advaita Vedanta. It is called Naishkarmya Siddhi. So this Naishkarmya Siddhi is comprised of shlokas as well as some it's called Sambandha Koti, as in some introduction to the shlokas. So we're not going to discuss any of that Naishkarmya Siddhi because in the available time and in such a setting, it's in fact impossible to study Vedanta as such. The topic here is approach to Vedanta, it's not actually Vedanta, so we're not going to discuss any Vedanta part. So we will understand how can we qualify ourselves to study Vedanta. In this particular work by Jagadguru Sureshwaracharya, in the initial Sambandha Koti, we'll just examine that. It's a very, very beautiful, straightforward introduction to, or explanation to, it sets the context for the study of the Advaita Siddhanta, Advaita Vedanta. At the outset, at the initial Sambandha Koti, it starts with Abrahma Stambha Paryantaihi Sarva Pranibhi Sarva Prakarasyapi Dukkhasya Swarasata Eva Jihasitatvat Tan Nivrutyartha Pravrittirasti Swarasata Eva. So this means Abrahma Stambha Paryantaihi. The jivas or the living beings include, according to our literature, according to our dharma, the jivas include, start from Brahma and all other devatas. They are also considered as living beings. They are jivas. And coming down all the way up to, here stamba means a blade of grass or a stem of grass. Starting from there up to this means the entire spectrum of living beings. They all always are undergoing some kind of suffering or the other. Of course, if we ask anybody, are you suffering? People may say, no, I'm happy. But that's only as much as we are conscious. If we force somebody to think about and tell, look into yourself, maybe you may have some problems, we all come up with a big laundry list of problems. Everybody has some problem or the other. Everybody has some dukkha or the other. So that's what is mentioned here. Brahma Stambha Paryantam Sarva Pranibhi Sarva Prakarasyapi. All kinds of dukkhas they undergo. And it is by nature this dukkham is there. This is what we need to understand. By nature, all the living beings have some dukkha or the other. And also, tan nivrutyartha pravrittirasti. So they also have this yearning, desire to get rid of that dukkha. Again, that is also swarasata eva, by nature, spontaneously, intuitively itself. Am I okay? Can I continue like this or? Okay. Yes, sir. So then Jagadguru Sureshwaracharya goes into analyzing this kind of life. So everybody has dukkha. This is something which, if we look into ourselves, we all can understand. And naturally, we also have the urge to get over, to do some parihara of the dukkha. Then, what is the reason for dukkha? So Sureshwaracharya says, Dukkhasya cha deha upadana eka hetutvat. The reason, or the main core reason, moola karana, dukkhake enu andre, dehopadana hetuhu. That is the one and only reason he says. Deha upadana hetuhu. Upadana means whatever we have from birth. whatever we have as one of our core possessions. Deha is one of our most core possessions. Now, what do we understand by Deha? Generally, Deha andre ಈ ಶರೀರ ಈ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಅಂತಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತಿಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ದಟ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ. ಹವೆವರ್, ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ, ದೇಹ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಬಾಡಿ, mind. There are certain stages of the mind as well. I mean, in some, this word mind or manas is used interchangeably, and in different contexts it's a different meaning. We can conclude that Deha means the physical body plus something non-physical. Everybody has thoughts, everybody has personality, behavioral styles, etc. All these are unique to every person. In fact, people say that in the entire world there will be 7 people who look alike. Even if that is the case, their minds will be different. Their thinking will be different. Their fate will be different. How, where, what kind of life they have, that entire thing will be different. So everybody is unique, and everybody has this composition of physical body plus something else. And most of us usually are, we have a feeling that physical body is our actual or main, prominent existence. But Shastra considers it not like that. In fact, if you see in Ayurveda, swasthyam, the definition of swasthyam is said to be prasanna atmendriya manasthiti. Prasanna atmendriya manasthiti. So there, the closest we get to the gross body is indriyas. The rest of the gross body is actually jada. Of course, when we discuss a bit further, the entire antahkarana itself is jadam. So, gross body is that jada vastu in which we live, and in which we it is called bhogayatana in the Shastra. So, this is the gross body is on which we enjoy or we experience the bhogas. Bhoga means not just pleasure but even the dukkhas also. So, deha means this much. Deha is the karana, deha is the main reason for dukkha. That's what Acharya has told. And dukkhasya cha deha upadana hetutvat. The main core reason is this deha. Now, how do we get deha? We'll discuss a little later. Or maybe here itself it's told. Deha, why do we, or how do we get deha? The answer is purvopachita dharma moolatvat. So we get different bodies, different mindsets, or different fates. All this is because of our purvopachita dharma hetutvat. Our purva, whatever dharma acharana we have done, or adharma acharana we have done, that is what gets us this present body. Of course, it may be even told that even within this janma also, when we do certain dharma, its result will be seen even within this janma itself. But generally speaking, whatever body we have got, whatever body andre, it includes deha, manasu, the entire thing. So the main reason for that, why do we get certain body, why is somebody born in a rich family, why is somebody born in a different kind of a family, and why is somebody intelligent, somebody is beautiful, etc., etc. All this, the reason behind this is dharma, adharmas. So we have done certain dharmas, so we got a good body, good family, good career, etc. And we have done certain adharmas because of which we have got some afflictions which we probably will be suffering in this life. And there is here the word anuchittihi is used. Dehasya cha purvopachita dharma moolatvat anuchittihi. Means it's almost like that dharma, the result of dharma and this body they're like twins. So it is told, even like whenever we go to any elderly people or any pandits and explain that we have certain dukkha, certain difficulty or affliction, and we ask them to give a solution, all that they will tell is some kind of dharma karyam, some kind of dharmacharana. If you do, idu parihara agate anta heltare. So dharma mulatvat, anuchati. Then dharma yoho tayoscha vihita prasiddha karma mulatvat, vihita pratisiddha karma mulatvat anivrittihi. Means how we commit dharma and adharma is, there are certain, for every human being, there are vihita karmas and pratisiddha karmas. Vihita means what we have to perform, and pratisiddha means what we are not supposed to go into. Of course, the karmas are again divided into 4. Nitya, Naimittika, Kamya and Nishiddha karmas. So, we can discuss on that maybe in a different context, but Nitya karmas is what everybody is supposed to perform. They do not give any additional benefit. Only thing is, if we don't perform, they will give pratyavaya dosham. If we don't perform, for example, Sandhya Vandana. ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕವಾಗಿ ಏನು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದರೆ ಅದರಿಂದನೂ ತುಂಬ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸಾಧಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಈ ಕರ್ಮ ಫಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ವಿ ಕನ್ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಸೇಸ್, ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದೇರ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ, ತುಂಬ ಪ್ರತ್ಯವಾಯ ದೋಷವನ್ನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೈಮಿತ್ತಿಕ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಹಾಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಹಣ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಗ್ರಹಣ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಂತ್ರ ಜಪ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಹಾಶಿವರಾತ್ರಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಆವತ್ತು ನದಿ ಸ್ನಾನ ಈ ತರಹ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಜಾಗರಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಶಿವಾರ್ಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಈ ತರಹ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದೆನ್ ಕಾಮ್ಯಕರ್ಮಾಸ್. ಕಾಮ್ಯಕರ್ಮ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ, some desire we have, and then we have to perform a kamya karma to get that desire fulfilled. Kamya karma and pratisiddha karma, nishedha karma. Nishedha karma is not something which we have to avoid. Asatya dosha or adharma dosha, etc. we have to avoid. So, by performing these in some way or the other, we fall into dharma or adharma modes, and then that gives the different deha, which is the karana for the dukkha. Next, so karma can be in either of these vihita or pratisiddha. Karmanascha ragadveshaspadatvat. So why do we perform either vihita karmas or why do we perform andre illi, if we don't perform vihita karmas, we are committing adharma. Or if we perform pratisiddha karmas, we are committing adharma. And similarly, if we perform vihita karmas, we are performing dharma. And otherwise, similarly, if we perform nishiddha karmas, we are again performing adharma. Why do we get into this mode? Is because he says it is ragadveshaspadatvat. We have certain likes and dislikes. So, because of the likes and dislikes, people get into the traps of performing nishiddha karmas, or people get into some, what do we call, laziness or dislike towards performing the vihita karmas. So, ragadveshaspadatvat, likes and dislikes. Generally speaking, likes and dislikes, for example, if I ask a child, what color do you like? Then he thinks up and says, I like blue color. If we ask, why do you like blue color? Oh, we have got why do we like blue color? He thinks, and probably he says, because Krishna is in blue color and I like Krishna. Or maybe because sky is blue, I like the color of sky, etc. But are these the reasons to like blue color? If you go deep into the, if you go analyze likes and dislikes a bit, in the conscious mind we do not have any reason. The reason lies somewhere deeper. Likes and dislikes, the reason for likes and dislikes lies somewhere deeper. So that is what drives a person towards either performing good karma, dharma or adharma, vihita karmas, non-vihita karmas. So, this raga, dvesha, we do not know the reason behind them, but we are driven towards them. So, ragadveshayoscha shobhana shobhana adhyasa nibandhanatvat. Why do we have ragadvesha? Because we perceive that, just like this example we have told, why do you like blue color? He says he has to explain something. That's why he looks up and says, there is some Krishna in blue color, I have seen it in books. Or just to answer this fellow, he says, I have seen this color of sky is blue, so I like it, etc. So that shobhana, ashobhana is also an adhyasa. Adhyasa means what is not there, but what appears to be. Then means he thinks that that is what seems to be good to me, that is where I have some pleasure, where I derive some pleasure, etc. So these are called shobhana, ashobhana, adhyasa. Then why do we have this adhyasa? Adhyasasya cha avicharita siddha dvaita vastu nimittatvat. So basically, it's going again, the analysis is going subtler and subtler. So here he says the reason for adhyasa is that I am here and that blue color is there, or I am here and what I like is out there. So this is dvaita. I and what I need is out there. So this is our common experience in life. Nobody is actually free from this. Most of our life actually goes in this way only. All practical life goes. So this Acharya says is avicharita siddha dvaita vastu. Means because we have not pondered over this, because we have not understood this concept, we think that I am here and what I need or what I like, and then what gives me dharmaphala or adharmaphala is out there. So I am there and something else is there. This adhyasa is what is called dvaita. So ಶೋಭನಾ ಶೋಭನ ಅಧ್ಯಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, generally all our practical life, in fact we even think of God as something different. So it has gone to such an extent that people think that if I pass an exam, I will offer a coconut to God. So as if God needs it. And similarly, in Andhra there is the practice of going to Tirupati and giving hair, tonsuring hair. It's called I give hair to God. So there also we think that God is there, and probably if I give my hair to God, He will give me whatever good I think that I don't have. So this adhyasa is gone to that extent. It's practically we all live that. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದ್ವೈತ ಅಧ್ಯಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶುಕ್ತಿಕಾ ರಜತಾದಿವತ್ ಸರ್ವಸ್ಯಾಪಿ ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಆತ್ಮ ಅನವಬೋಧ ಮಾತ್ರ ಉಪಾದಾನತ್ವಾತ್ ಅವ್ಯಾವೃತ್ತಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಸೇಸ್ just like in the seashore we see some seashells, especially not the conch-like shells, but Shuktika means it will be like this. Inside it there will be some some fish-like thing, oysters. So the oyster shell looks like, especially the inside of it looks like silver in color. So first time when we have seen silver, maybe at home, and then we go to the seashore, we think that that is silver. So that is appearance of silver in a Shuktika is, just like silver appears in Shuktika, or again more common example is Raju Sarpa. So somebody sees in a faint light, somebody sees a rope and thinks that it's a snake. So this kind of, because of lack of proper knowledge, lack of complete knowledge, any vastu looks like something different. That is caused by dvaita. Dvaitasya cha shuktika rajata advaita sarvasya. So why that dvaita appears in the first place is because I am all pervading is the actual truth. Atma is all pervading is the actual truth. But because we don't know that I am the all-pervading Atma, that statement itself means that there is something else other than me. So this something else other than me is that silver, just like silver in the conch shell, in that seashell. That silver is not there. Similarly, there is nothing other than Atma. This is the actual fact. So, ataha sarvanartha hetuhu atmanavabodha eva. This is the conclusion in that Sambandha Koti, in the introduction for that first chapter. So again, if we go back from here, suffering is caused by being embodied in a body, being, attaining a body. And the body comes because of past karmas. Past karmas are in form of dharma and adharma, which we perform because we have likes and dislikes. We are bound by likes and dislikes. And that likes and dislikes appear because we have the vision of duality, my I and something else. And that duality happens to be there because of ignorance of our real nature. So, now again, if we go back to the initial part, every jiva has some kind of dukkha or the other, and that is because, we need something, we think that we need something, especially various problems in life, various desires and all. So if we go on fulfilling those needs, because we think that if we fulfill a need, I'll get happiness. Because dukkha is that I need something which I don't have. So if I go and fulfill that need, I think that I'll be free from the dukkha. But common experience itself is not like that. And if we think more and more over it, we can arrive at this conclusion that the real reason, real cause of all the problem is the ignorance of one's self. Okay, now, generally if we see the difference between us, normal human beings, and jnanis is only in this awareness, because they also are embodied they also have a body. The moment we think of, say, Ramana Maharshi, or some Vivekananda, or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, or any of our Jagat Gurus, Bharati Tirtha Mahaswamiji, if we think, we infallibly we think of the person, we think of the body of the appearance of Jagat Guru Bharati Tirtha Mahaswamiji. So they also have the body, and they also breathe the same air that we do. Still, the difference between them and us is in this: they are not ignorant and we are ignorant. That's the only difference. So, getting over, going from here to there is the entire sadhana of the Vedanta. Only difference between jnani and ajnani is the presence of ignorance in this thing and this thing. Now, again, next line he says is Sukhasya cha anagamapayino aparatantrasya atmasvabhavatvat tasya anavabodha pidhanam. So this is that the what veils the actual everlasting, the real sukha from us is this ignorance. Ignorance is the only cause of dukkha. So after this, now that we understand that ajnana is the reason, and then all this deha, reason for deha being the dharma, dharmas, likes and dislikes, etc., etc., where we can actually have a practical handle is only in dharma, dharma. All other things are more subtle. For example, likes and dislikes, we don't know why we like certain things or why we don't like certain things. And then the vision of duality, it is theoretically we can understand, but practically how can we get over that? It's not so easy. We can theoretically we can discuss and we can wax eloquent on that. But how do we get over that? So it all boils down to dharma, adharma. Performance of dharma leads to sukha, and performance of adharma leads to dukkha. So our concentration is to be on that. That's the reason if we see our Jagat Gurus talking anywhere, or the reason for Vijayatras, they say Sishyarige dharma upadesha madoke ವಿಜಯಯಾತ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಶಿಷ್ಯಾಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಜ್ಞಾನೀಸ್, ನೋ. Because there is no making of jnani. If we get over the ignorance, we are that Atma. We are, even without getting rid of, because, okay, we will come to that later. So, even without getting rid of ignorance, we are that. We only don't know. We are the Atma Swarupas. We only don't know. The Ajnana wields that. So, Dharmacharana is the one and only thing that we can, it is in our hands, it is within our reach. Now this is also theoretical. How do we actually perform the Dharmacharana? Because again, in this explanation, what Acharya told is that we have these likes and dislikes, and we have this ignorance of our real nature. Everything is still there. Though we are forcing ourselves to do Dharmacharana, how do we practically get into that? So this is what forms the rest of all the entire sadhana indeed. Many people tell, wherever we go, many people give that discourse, and many people give the upadesha. Dharma madi, Dharmacharana madi, satyam vada, dharmanchara, all these things people tell. And we also listen, we also feel that we have to do. Again, we fall into certain traps. So to get over that, how do we manage? Now, to do that, all the Vaidika Vangmaya we have got. The Veda itself is called Vedokhilo Dharma Moolam. Veda itself is the collection of the body of the source of Dharma. Vedokhilo Dharma Moolam. And then Vedanta, what we call as Vedanta, is also part of Veda. So Dharma is the practical activities of life, and there is something called Ishvara. In fact, if we see in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna Paramatma has told, Sahad yajñah praja sruštva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam eshavos tvishtakamathikansali. So, of course, here what he is talking about is that through yajñas, which is the karma kanda, you propitiate the devatas, and they will in turn give you vrishti, and then that's how in this what is called exchange, parasparam bhavayantaha sreyah paramavapsyata. So karma kanda, practical application of Veda is in the karma kanda, and yajño hi sreshtatamam karma, it is told. So the only karma that is actually talked about is yajña, performance of yajñas. After performance of yajña, and in the performance of yajña, even if we see in Shankara Bhagavad Padacharya's Upadesha Panchakam, Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karmas manushthiyatam tena ishasya vidhiyatam apachitihi. Apachiti means worship or upasana. So through this karma only you do upasana of Ishvara. Then again the other upadeshas are there. Kamye matistyajyatam papaughah paridhuyatam. By doing this karma itself, you will get rid of the affliction of papa, which will get our antahkarana ready for moksha. Mokshecha vyavasiyatam or atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagruha turnam vinirgamyatam. So once having performed the karmas and having worshipped the Ishvara by those karmas, then he is asking us to work on the mind. Kamye matistyajyatam papaughah paridhuyatam, etc. So the entire system is to cleanse us at the body level, at the mind level, and then make us ready for the ultimate Atma Jnana. With this goal in life, if we set out, we are bound to succeed. Then so it is it's there. I mean, there is nothing new till now in what I have spoken. It's already there. But what makes it difficult is, again, lack of understanding of our own self in whatever context, in whatever way we are. If we look at ourselves, what are we comprised of? A body we have and a mind. And then in Bhagavad Gita or anywhere we have seen, we can summarize that, as I have told in the initial part of this thing, body is very gross and non-active component, and it is driven by the indriyas, and over the indriyas it is the manas or the mind. Over and above that we have the buddhi, and buddhi, beyond the buddhi it is saha, it is told. Why I am telling this is, there is a statement in our Shastras, buddhi karmanusarini. And what is this karma here? Buddhi karmanusarini. Many people, I have heard some people actually not properly explaining this. They think that whatever we do, the karma, again, it feeds the buddhi or something like that. But here in this statement, buddhi karmanusarini means the karma spoken of here is the prarabdha. We get this life, we take this janma because of prarabdha. So we don't know how many janmas we had in the past, how many we will have in the future. In fact, Puranas or even science says that there is a beginning to the universe. But Vedanta says that universe is beginningless. It's always there. So if we see, even we have countless janmas in the past. So what happens is, based on the context, based on how the world is, a few set of our karma, a few subset of our karmas, we get them as the prarabdha to live out in this janma. So we have only a few set of prarabdhas, and that is what the buddhi is aware of. So buddhi karmanusarini means buddhi always refers to that small set of prarabdhas which we have to exhaust in this life, to exhaust which we have got this life, janma. If you take a small analogy into the software or project management field, any project starts with what is called a requirement document. Requirement andre basically whatever is the need to be fulfilled, that is just stated in completely non-technical terms. It's just simple text. For example, I need a device with which I want to speak to somebody who is not in my audible distance. So that is that's the requirement. To fulfill that, this requirement is analyzed into a design. So if we look at this object, before it came out of the factory as a mobile phone, did it exist? Our common knowledge is that it did not exist. But yeah, it existed as the design. Because if there is no design, what is the input to make this? How will the functionality be realized in this? So design has to be there. And simply if we ask somebody who is capable of designing a system, I ask him to come here and simply we say design. He cannot do, because he has to have the requirement in hand. This analogy is to say that requirement is what actually drives the entire thing. The final object comes not because this is there. The requirement is not because of this, but this is there because of the requirement. It's top-down approach. Requirement, as I told, is a very simple statement, completely non-technical. It's just a story. Nowadays, in fact, we have in the as the industry, user stories and all. Yeah. So just the user says what he needs as a simple story, non-technical. So to fulfill that, to manifest that requirement, the design work is done. So when the designing is started, that is where we can make choices. Can it be in this way or that way? Can it be like powered, or can it be something else? Does it need to have an aerial or not? I mean, some antenna, protruding antenna or not? Or do we need some other features into this? All these things come up only in the design stage. That means we start getting choices. So again, if we go into the, I hope this analogy is being understood. Physical object comes only after the subtle object is there. Design is the subtle object. Physical object. Similarly, even our entire deha, physical gross body, comes only after the mind comes into existence. Mind, so buddhi, mind, buddhi, manas and deha, we have these three. The relation between them is like this. Requirement is what is read by the requirement people, that is the buddhi. And mind is like the designers, and deha is like the finished product. The physical body is like the finished product. Why this kind of understanding is important is because most of us think that we live in our gross body, but no. How we can establish this is, suppose I say that I have this gross body and this gross universe is there. I am touching this physical object. But where do I know that I touched it? It's only in the thought. It's only in the mind. Right? So in fact, the existence of mind, our common understanding is that the existence of mind is not provable. But reality is that the existence of gross world is not provable. The existence of mind is only provable, because every physical object, every gross entity, we know only in the mind. Okay, then if you go a bit further, we never know what is the prarabdha. We never know what is our prarabdha. The reason for that is that the prarabdha, as I told, it's known only as a prajna. It's that requirement document which is not reachable to the final developers, etc. May not be exact analogy, but then. So the reason is why we don't know prarabdha is because in our existence, mostly in the mind, as we dwell in the mind, we see everything as object, right? So there is something there, out there. When I have something out there, that's what I perceive. But this out there perception comes only in the manas, only when we enter into the mind. That's because we enter into the mind, we are coming out of our being. We are coming out of our being. That's called bahirmukhatvam. So as we come out, we start perceiving myself and the object. So I interact with the objects. This is how we are made to live. I hope I'm making sense, sir. So this is how we actually live, and this is the practical way of life. This is the way we have been designed by God. That is the reason, even for our dharmacharana also, our maharshis have designed this kind of system only. Right? For example, we worship God. How do we do that? We see God out there as a vigraha, or as a shivalinga, or as our panchayatana, or a chitra, and then we offer puja there. But we may not recognize that the prana pratishtha is done only from us. Maybe in the Vinayaka Vratakalpa, if you see, or many other places also, the prana pratishtha is done by us. We put the vigraha and then we say, we look, mama prana, etc. And asunite, punarasmas jakshuhu, these mantras we tell, and we do the prana pratishtha there. We invoke the presence of God into that system, and then we do the puja there. But where is all this? The actual answer is that it is all within us. From here only it comes there. So because we have this practical existence designed in this way. So similarly, because of this reason, the entire routine given by our Maharshis over the ages has been making use of this system, this way of life. Though actually it is not out there, it is here only. The action of seeing, or if you think about the action of seeing, the eye which sees the objects cannot see itself, right? Because only when there is an object it will see. The action itself is, the eye only sees, it is being. So eye is the subject, and what it sees is the object, right? Wait a minute. This very design of having a life in the as an objective world itself is the cause for dukkham also, because what happens is in the mind realm, in the manas realm, we have all these likes and dislikes. The moment we enter into the objective world, this experience of Dvaitam also comes in. So that's where we have likes and dislikes, and something beyond me, something out of me, etc. is there. So this is the reason we say, our Shastras say, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoh. Mana is the reason for bandha as well as even for moksham also. How it gets into the bandha is because by being only bahirmukha. How it gets over, as in how it resolves the Dvaita, is also by the manas only. By understanding that it's not out there, it's still me, only for practical utility or practical purpose, I have done the prana pratishtha there, or I'm seeing the vastu out there, it's actually in me. How we can say how it is in me? Because the requirement is driving the design. So similarly, whatever our prarabdha is driving us to do certain karmas. We should not fall into the trap of likes and dislikes while doing the activities, while discharging our life activities or while living. This is what saves us from the dukkha of whatever likes and dislikes give us. So far, again, theoretically this is all understandable. What we are trying to say is that by, again, using the analogy of requirement, design, etc., the design has to be subservient to the requirement. Design should not go beyond the scope of requirement, or the design should not do something different from the requirement, or maybe smaller set of requirements. The design should not fulfill a smaller set of requirements, right? So this means that the design should be subservient to the system. So manas should be subservient to the buddhi. This is if we achieve that, then the life that we live will be completely as per the prarabdha. How difficulties come up in life is because we don't know what exactly is going to happen, but we have a very active mind, and it has various likes and dislikes. It thinks that what is going to happen or what I'm undergoing is going to give me some difficulty, or what I just don't like. So we resist the natural flow of life. That is what causes dukkha. Many times if we mention the word prarabdha, most of the people think that prarabdha is something that is very painful. Ayyo, prarabdha. The word prarabdha itself is given that negative connotation. But prarabdha as such has no either good or bad. The concept of good or bad comes only when we are in the mind. But prarabdha is not there in the mind. It's when we look at the prarabdha from the perspective of likes and dislikes, that's when we see it to be either good or bad. And that's when we resist it, and then we fall into we make it more and more difficult. But the natural, if we align it with the natural flow of life, any prarabdha will not be causing any pain. This is actually a fact. But if I tell this, many people will not agree, and some may even, in fact, I faced this, experience. People will actually get angry because many people we see in life having big afflictions in life. If we tell them that you have caused them by resisting the natural flow of life, will they agree? It will not be easy to agree. But the fact is this. We have to accept this fact, and we have to understand that it is my prarabdha, my doing that has caused this difficulty. If we accept this in the first place, we understand that we have the power actually. So it's an empowerment to accept that I am the doer, or that I am the doer of everything in my life. That is actually an empowerment. Ownership. Yes. How to come into this? I mean, I'm trying to set a context so that a few practical measures can be told. Mind, if it is not subservient to the buddhi, that is when it starts causing problems in life. That is when we fall into the traps of likes and dislikes, all the dualities, and we go behind what we think is pleasurable, and we try to avoid what is actually good but not seemingly pleasurable. All these traps happen when the mind is more active. If we reduce the activity of the mind, that is when our life happens to becomes more fulfilling. How do we achieve that? How do we control the mind is the major issue now. So initially we have started with the karanam for dukkha is the deha, dharmas, likes and dislikes, ignorance, appearance of dvaita, and then ignorance of me being the entire, the Atma. So we are discussing about how to get over the likes and dislikes, the trap. Generally, if we see at any given point in time, everybody is in a certain state of agitation or activity. Let's not call it agitation. Agitation seems to be a negative word. So we are in a certain state of activity. Our body is active, our indriyas are perceiving something or the other, and then we have various thoughts going on in our mind, which means that we are in an active state of life, consciousness, waking consciousness. This is what is called waking consciousness. So, even in Bhagavad Gita, I'm not able to remember the shlokas, we have to bring ourselves inwards like kurmanganiva. Like the kurma, like the tortoise. Yes. So, first of all, if we reduce the activity of the body, as in we just relax. If we relax, maybe practically we can do it and see. If we just relax, wherever and however we are sitting, the activity or the hesitation of the mind also gets reduced. Activity and hesitation of the mind gets reduced. Then, observe our own thoughts for a few minutes. Just become aware of our own thoughts. It gets reduced even further. So, if we are able to reduce our thoughts to optimum level, that's when the actual buddhi shines and we get inspiration to do the right activity. Because buddhi always follows our karma, prarabdha. That's when we get the inspiration to do the right things. If we live like this, our life will be in alignment with the prarabdha and with the natural flow of life, and minimum resistance, minimum pain. Effortless life will happen in this way. To give an analogy or an example, nowadays I think most of us are getting ready-made clothes. But in my childhood time, we used to buy cloth. Yes, in the olden days, Yes, yes. We used to buy cloth and then we used to go to a tailor and then we used to give our measurements, etc. And the tailor used to say, come on so and so day at 5 p.m. But because of curiosity, we go at 4 p.m. itself. So the stitched cloths are all heaped up and they'll be thrown to a boy sitting in a corner. All his job is to take a shirt or whatever, and then he'll have a box of buttons. So he just picks the right colored button and the right colored thread, and he has to stitch it. To stitch that, he'll hold the needle, and then he has to insert the thread into the needle. Right? It's a very important task. What is the qualification required for this fellow to do this job? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He just has to identify the colors and then run the thread into the needle. That's a very little skill that he needs. But if we go and disturb that boy saying, hey, my shirt, show me my shirt, show me this one, whose shirt is this, how much work have you done, all this, like if we keep disturbing him, he'll not be able to do even this. So to do even such a little task, he needs to be relaxed. Then, if we have to do bigger and bigger activities, it's not right to be with an agitated mind. It's not right to be with an agitated mind. So the moment any problem or any difficulty or any activity comes to our hand, the first thing we have to do is relax. I'm not talking out of my own hat. This is what we have been given over the ages. For example, when we sit to do any daiva karyam, any karyam, first thing we do is sit, asana siddhi, and then in the proper asana, and then we are asked to do achamanam. Even for that achamana also, Keshavaya Swaha. We take water into our hand and attain chant the mantra Keshavaya Swaha, and then second mantra is Narayana Swaha, Madhavaya Swaha. If we see here, the Keshava, Ka, starts with somewhere inside the palate. Narayana, when we utter the word Narayana, the Na comes from the outer portion of the, middle or outer portion of the mouth, palate. Madhavaya Swaha, when we say, we close it. So there is something that we are, we are doing this Ka syllable will actually cleanse the inner or bottom portions of our bodily existence, and then Na, the middle portions, Ma, like this. So with this Achamana, we are supposed to actually do this. We are supposed to pour the water into our hands, chant the Nama mantra, and then take in. So with these three, if we do Achamana, and then chant all those remaining names of Govinda, Bhagavat Pada, Mahavishnu, then relaxation of the body happens naturally. We get into that relaxed state of body. Next thing what we are supposed to do is Achamya, Prananayamya. So we are supposed to do the pranayama. In yoga, everywhere, whenever we go to any yoga classes, Kriya Yoga or that yoga, this yoga, we were told that pranayama is what controls the mind. And then they tell different kinds of pranayama for different levels of control of the mind. But of course, we are not supposed to do pranayama without being properly taught. It will take us into very difficult situations. But simply, pranayama, it has to be only relaxed breathing. At least the simplest we can do is alternate nostril breathing, and we are supposed to do only start with the left, exhale, close the right nostril, exhale, inhale with the left nostril, exhale with the right, again take it from here and do it. So with that pranayama. So if we do first Keshava, with the Nama mantras, if you do the Achamana, we come to a certain very beautiful state of relaxation of the body. And then with this pranayama, we come into a relaxed state of mind also. So that's when only the buddhi is in the right, active. That's when we plant the sankalpa. So it will get fulfilled. How will it get fulfilled? When we have this relaxed body and relaxed mind, buddhi is the actual leader, and mind is its servant, and body is the result. So it's that master and student or master-slave relation. Mind is a manifesting machine. We all practically know that. Maybe we are not totally aware of it, but then it is that. Maybe if I can, how much time do I still have? Yeah. If I can ask you to do a small exercise, hope if you don't mind, yeah. Maybe what we can do is just close your eyes. All of you, close your eyes. Sit in whatever position you are sitting, just relax. Close your eyes and just relax. I'll tell a few, I'll explain a situation, just try to be with me in that situation as I'm explaining it. It's a summer day, it's a hot summer day. It's a very hot summer day in the afternoon. We have come from some tiring work. Everybody is sleeping silent home. I have opened the main door, and inside it's a cool, the fan is running, our AC is on, so it feels cool. I feel relaxed. And then I just walk a few steps inside, put my bag on the table, and slowly, happily, I walk to the fridge. I open the fridge. Inside the fridge, there is a beautiful fresh lemon. I pick up that lemon, and it's a very fresh, beautiful lemon, yellow color, shining yellow color. It has that lemon oil shining on the skin. I take it to the table. I take a nice sharp knife. I cut the lemon with that knife. The lemon juice, citrus, sharp, tingy lemon juice is oozing out of it. I sit on the chair and I just squeeze the lemon drop into my mouth. Now, slowly, you can open your eyes. Has anybody felt that sharp tinge on your mouth? Water, that saliva, mouth watering. Did it happen? But where is the lemon? Where is that drop? It's all in the mind. So we just imagined, and it has produced this. So the thought is what produces, again, as we understood here. Mind is what creates this entire thing. With this little experience, we can conclude that. Of course, I don't want to be, somebody who just speaks out of my hat. There are pramanams in our shastras as well, but we'll just discuss with one small, which is closer to me. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi has written a beautiful 40-verse grantha called Sat Darshanam. So, Sat Darshanam, Sadvastu Darshanam. That has been translated into Sanskritam by his ardent devotee by name Kavya Kantha Ganapati Muni. So in that, there are two shlokas, 7th and 8th, or probably 8th and 9th shlokas, which describe this thing very beautifully. It says, Yat panchakoshatmakamasti deham tadantara kim bhuvanancha kasti. Deham vina panchavidham tadetat pashyanti keva bhuvanam bhanantu. What it means is, our deha is comprised of panchakoshas. Panchakoshas, again, the discussion will be very long. Explaining this will be very long, but suffice it to say that the panchakoshas are gross to subtlest part of our existence. Gross is the body, which is Annamaya Kosha, and subtlest is the aham, mahat tattvam or aham spurana. It's not atma, it is just the aham spurana, the consciousness, self-consciousness. So that is the subtlest part. So we exist in these 5 spheres or 5 koshas, panchakoshas. So deha is panchakoshatmakam. And the universe is also panchakoshatmakam only. Because atmanaha akasha sambhuyate, this is what our Shruti says, From Atma, Akasha comes, and from that the remaining the Panchabhutas comes, and then whatever Panchikarana, all the processes happen, the universe comes into the existence. Deham Panchakoshatmakam, Tadantara Kim Bhuvanancha Kasti. Even the world is also Panchakoshatmakam. Deham Vina Panchavidhanta Detat Pashyantikeva Bhuvanam Bhadantu. We perceive the universe only with our body. So, as long as we have this body, it acts as an interface for the universe. So without this Panchakoshatmaka Deha, we cannot perceive the universe. This is what is told in this first shloka. Then there is the next one, Shabdadirupam Bhuvanam Samastam, Shabdadi Satyendriya Vrittibhasya, Satyendriyanam Manaso Vashesyat, Manovayam Tad Bhuvanam Vadamaha. What it says is, again, this entire universe is comprised of these 5 gunas, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, 5 gunas. So Shabda is the guna of Akasha, Shabda and Sparsha is that of Vayu, the next subtle, grosser element. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa is that of Agni, Rasa also included for Jala, and then Gandha guna is also included for Prithvi. So Shabdadi Rupam Bhuvanam Samastam. And Shabdadi Satyendriya Vrittibhasya. We have these Indriyas which also correspond to these 5 gunas or 5 perceptions. So through these we perceive the universe also. Shabdadi Satyendriya Vrittibhasya. Shabdadi Rupam Bhuvanam Samastam. The world is comprised of these gunas, and we perceive it also with these Indriyas. All these Indriyas are in the control of the Manas. Because whenever we see something, we see it with the Chakshur Indriya, with the Indriya of the eye. And the understanding of the object, whatever we see, happens because the mind gets there. Similarly, whatever we smell, the mind gets there. I would like to tell one small example, one small experience that I had in this context. Before that I'll finish this shloka. So all these Indriyas are in the control of Manas. So Manomayam Tad Bhuvanam Vadamaha is what he says. So we can conclude that the world is comprised of, the universe is comprised, or the world is comprised of Manas. So they discuss further, and Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says that mind is the world. It is there in our Shastras also. I think in a little indirect way, Dakshinamurti Stotram also says that Vishwam Paschati, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari. So it comes only out of one's own mind. The guru that gives this knowledge, my oblations to the guru Dakshinamurti, is that first shloka what it says. Similarly in Yoga Vasishta also this is explained, that Brahmandam is Manas Srishti. We only create it. The Manas is what creates it. Then, so with the world being perceived only by the mind, through the instruments called Indriyas, mind, if we would not like to call mind is the world or world is the mind, at least we can say that mind is the interface for the world. This is the interface. The screen and the keyboard is the interface for this computer. For all practical purposes, this is the computer for me, right? Whatever happens here, whatever happens underneath, as a user, I'm not concerned. Maybe the engineer who makes it will be concerned. So similarly, for the world also, the creator of the universe may have to bother about what is behind everything. But then for us, only mind is the world. The interface is the system. So mind is the world. Why is again this important is that mind as a manifesting machine is such a powerful thing. That is the reason it is so difficult. Even theoretically we can say mind has to be subservient to the mind, and then it will create the whatever reality. So for that reason, if we do pranayama and do the sankalpa, everything gets well. Still, mind has the capacity and power to escape this control and do something nasty. That is how we fall into difficulties. What protects us, or how to get rid of this, is Like it is told in Bhagavad Gita, abhyasena tu kaunteya. So only by abhyasa if we do of the practices, right practices of keeping the mind as much relaxed as possible, that is when we can go into the right path. So all the dharmacharana has to be done in this way. Just because without any craving for do dharmacharana, we have to do it. Again, here, I told that I'll tell you a small example. The reality of this is, the correctness of this is so powerful. I was once doing Giri Pradakshina in Tirunnamalai. In fact, this was about 15 years ago. Those days, the crowds were not so much. And I used to go only on non-festival days. Prati ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆಗೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. So I used to go only in the off days. So I left my office one evening and I reached there by 11:30. It was rainy. 11:30 I started my pradakshinam, and going halfway there is a particular place where it is called Ramana Maharshi Band. There we sit and it's the north face of the hill. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಜಪ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅದನ್ನು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಐ ಸ್ಯಾಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ 15 minutes or so, chanting something, etc. And then I wanted to again continue the pradakshina. So till then I was sitting here doing the namasmarana and looking at the hill. Pitch dark night, nobody was there. So suddenly, as I was ready to get up, I turned my head to this side, and within 5-6 meters from where I was sitting, I saw a rotten carcass of a dog. It might have died 2 days ago or 3 days ago. It was rotten, it was, even insects were coming out of it, worms were coming out of it. It was very, very bad. That's when I perceived the stench. It was so bad, it was so unbearable that I immediately vomited. And I ran for maybe even 100 meters, I ran away. But again I realized that in Giri Pradakshina we should only walk. So I closed my my nose, my face, I only opened my eyes and came to all this place, and again with that difficulty I had to go back. What I'm trying to say is that as long as my mind was not involved in this, even though the air was there, the stench was there, I was sitting in that, but I was not even perceiving it. So this is how life will be if we are in the proper state of mind. If maybe I had this prarabdha to get that smell, that's why I saw it. Otherwise, I would have completed the Giri Pradakshina without even knowing about that. Right? So if we do the dharmacharana in the right way, without any attachment and with the proper state of mind, difficulties will not even come to us. This is what I was taught, and this is what even our Maharshis also have been telling, and that's why we even pray. See, at the starting of any dharma karyam or puja or anything, japa, upasana, we do this, we get into the proper state of mind and we do the sankalpa. End of it again, anayasena maranam vinadainyena jivanam, because this is what is the entire summary of life. In that proper state of mind, if we chant this sankalpam, if we offer this prayer, that is how life happens. That is how life happens. So, and one more beautiful fact here that Shastras tell is that, of course, we are born to exhaust our prarabdha, right? And if we do it in the right way, though we have mountains of sanchita karma behind us, and probably unknowingly we might have even gathered some things for the future also, agami karma, if we do it in the right way, the readiness of mind for studying the Vedanta or for being taught the Vedanta, for a guru to teach us the Vedanta, that readiness, which is called antahkarana shuddhi, will happen. For antahkarana shuddhi to happen, we should do the karma in the right way, and we should not do with a kamya, and we should not do with attachment. whatever kind of attachment. Attachment generally we think that it is attachment for the fruit of karma. Not only that, the sense of doership itself is attachment. The sense of doership itself is attachment. So how to get rid of this is, by a very, very practical means. Once I properly understood that, till I understood this, whoever has taught me, a great person with whom I traveled for 6 years in my life, very valuable time. He has taught me all this, and he made me understand one thing. Till I went to him, I used to do all my regular Devatarchana also really with attachment, and hence I used to get into different states of mind. So it so happened that once I visited one great man. He's a Siddha Purusha. So I sat in front of him, and suddenly he sprinkled water. Some water he just sprinkled on my face. I was shocked. So I closed my eyes for 2-3 seconds. I was even wondering if it throws water again. So more than 2-3 seconds, I closed my eyes. Then I simply opened, and he was also normal. He was talking again. Suddenly again, he sprinkled water on my face. So then again, I closed my eyes, and then I asked him, what is this? So he asked me, when I sprinkled the water on your face first, what did you see? Second time, what did you see? So after he asked me 2 times, then I really remembered. First time when he sprinkled the water on my face, I saw goddess, Durga Devi in Vijayawada temple, in a very red background. Even the goddess was in red color. The shape was that Vijayawada goddess, but then she appeared in red color, red background, everything was red. Second time when he sprinkled that water, she appeared on a white background, and she was also white. You know what he told me? He told me that he perceived that I have done puja with an angry mind. I actually did that. He even told, Navaratri puja, yen ashtu kopadalli madidri neenu? Anta he chided me. So what he told is that till I met him, Ambal was angry with me that I did the puja with a wrong state of mind. But she is mother goddess, no? So the moment I saw that she is angry, she became peaceful, and that's how she appeared white, it seems. So state of mind is such an important thing. Now, if we are in the proper state of mind, then what happens is we are like just we are our own self. What we are born to do, what we are our own prarabdha says us to do. If we remain in that as much as possible, then what happens is as this practice goes on, the awareness of ourself as this unit of prarabdha or the subset of prarabdha also will get melted away. This is what Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi tells, as if it's such an easy thing, and he tells that it is in fact easy. Observe the mind, think about who I am, and that I will vanish is what he says. So that's how this is actually in accordance with our scriptures also. Of course, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, whatever he taught is Advaita. So if we simply be what we are, then we don't know what punya we have, and we don't know what Mahapurusha is waiting to be our guru to give us the Upadesha of Atma Vidya. The only qualification is that Vinaya, that we have to be what we are. And this is what is told even in the Upanishads also. Tad Vijnanartham Sadgurum Abhigachet Samit Panhisrotrim Brahmanishra, and then Tad Vidhi Pranipatena. So Pariprashana Seva. So to do all these things, we need to be that innocent, simple self. That happens when all this mind is active, not active, and we are simply what we are. We should be a simple soul. Just one more example I'll give you before I close it. In Sundarakanda, Anjaneya does this wonderful task of going across the sea, and then he sees the opulence of the Lanka. Up to 11th Sarga, he is just roaming around, he sees the beauty of Lanka. And then he is not able to find Sita. So he's in that nirvedam. Yeah. So he tells to himself, Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirveda Huisatam Sarvartheshu Pravartaka. Anirveda means a state of mind without any trace of nirvedam. Just like Arogyam means a state of body without any trace of roga. It is not like having cured a roga. No. No presence of roga itself. No smarana of roga. No consciousness of roga. That is what Anirveda means. Anirveda has to be no trace of dukkha. After he goes into that state, in the next sarga, 13th sarga, again he thinks about all these things, but then he says, Sankshiptoyam mayatma cha ramarthe ravanasya cha, he says. Ramarthe means with bhakti towards Rama, and Ravanarthe means to get the goal of finding Sita without being disturbed by Ravana. I am making myself concise. Here, he is not, bodily he is not making concise. Of course, next a few sargas later, he Prashidam Sakamatrasan, and he becomes like small kitten. But before that, he in 13th sarga, he says, I am making myself so small. As in the mind, he is making himself small. Sankshiptoyam mayatma cha ramartha ravanasya cha. Siddhim me sarvadasyan, siddhim me, I'm forgetting the slokas. So he says all these Indra, Rudras, all these people, Digdevatas, everybody will bless me with the siddhi. So that awareness itself will come when we reduce our mindly and bodily existence and we remain just as simply as what we are born with. There is some more points I have prepared to tell here, but then it's already 8:47, 8:50. I think we are running too late on time. Hope I made some sense. Whatever I have learned from the Mahans, if I told something which is not making sense or which is not understandable, it's all mine. Whatever made sense is from the Gurus that I have learned this with. Dhanyosmi, dhanyosmi, dhanyosmi. Thank you.
Vidwan K.V. Sharma ji has delivered such a sublime spiritual discourse. I have no words to kind of describe how sublime and splendid it was. It was a very sublime spiritual discourse. Right from the nature of suffering and the cause for this gross body to difference between a gnani and an ajnani, on how awareness is the difference between this gnani and ajnani, to the importance of dharmacharanam. And very nicely he drew an analogy. He set forth a software analogy wherein the requirement specification and the design phase on how this gross body is the manufactured finished product. Like that he gave a lot of practical and contemporary use cases and examples. And finally relaxation of mind, how the prominence of mind, and mind is the cause for bandha and moksha, and mind as a manifesting machine, and how through this state of mind we will be able to achieve a lot of things. He outlined all these things, drawing references from Jagadguru Shankaracharya, Sureshwaracharya's Naishkarmya Siddhi, Viveka Chudamani, Sadhana Panchakam, Bhagavad Gita, Ramana's Saddarshanam, then Sundarakandam. So like this he drew references from a lot of texts and yet presented a very practical and a contemporary lecture on an approach to Vedanta. We are deeply indebted to him. ಈಗ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಠದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಹಾಗೂ SLN ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಗುರುಗಳ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಗೌರವ ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ. ಇನ್ನು ನಾಳಿನ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ತೇಜಶಂಕರ ಸೋಮಯಾಜಿ ಅವರಿಂದ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಾಧವೀಯ ಶಂಕರ ದಿಗ್ವಿಜಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನ ಧರ್ಮ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಕುರಿತಾದ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ತೇಜಶಂಕರ ಸೋಮಯಾಜಿ ಅವರಿಂದ. ಇನ್ನೀಗ ಈ ದಿನದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಂಗಳದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸಂಪನ್ನವಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಮಂಗಳಂ ಗುರು ಶ್ರೀ ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳೀಶ್ವರಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಕಾಲಭೈರವಗೆ ಕಾಳಿ ದುರ್ಗಿಗೆ ವೀರಧೀರ ಶೂರ ಹನುಮ ಮಾರುತಿ ಚರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನಗೆ ಚೆಲ್ವ ಜನಾರ್ದನಗೆ ಅಂಬಾ ಭವಾನಿ ಕಂಬದ ಗಣಪತಿ ಚಂಡಿ ಚಾಮುಂಡಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯರಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾಶಂಕರಗೆ ವಾಗೀಶ್ವರಿಗೆ ವಜ್ರದೇಹ ಗರುಡಾಂಜನೇಯರಿಗೆ ತುಂಗಭದ್ರೆಗೆ ಶೃಂಗನಿವಾಸಿನಿಗೆ ಶೃಂಗೇರಿ ಪುರದೊಳು ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವಂಥ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಶಿವ ಅಭಿನವ ನೃಸಿಂಹ ಭಾರತಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರು ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮರಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರು ವಿದ್ಯಾತೀರ್ಥರಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರು ಭಾರತಿ ತೀರ್ಥರಿಗೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ವಿಧುಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿಗೆ ಮಂಗಳಂ ಗುರು ಶ್ರೀ ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳೀಶ್ವರಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರ